thank you for joining me. If this is the first time you're here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, then thank you for returning. I really appreciate it, taking the time to listen to what I have to say. If you have any questions or comments, or you have something that you'd like me to talk about, then feel free to post it below in the chat. I read them all and try to respond to all of them, so at this point there's not that many, so it's a little easier to do. But I just want to take some time today as the year comes to a close. I think we tend to look at how things have been, whether it be in the past year or just in our past, and look at how is this year going to be, or at least I'd like to think that other people think the way that I do, in the sense that we look forward, because this is the time that most people make New Year's resolutions and they try to decide to do something that's going to benefit them for the next year. Now, a lot of us are not all that successful. I don't think I've ever won a full year with any of my resolutions. However, it's worth doing and worth trying. If you don't try, you can't succeed. So just keep that in mind. So I kind of sat there this week in the last couple of days, and I had a lot of memories and a lot of thoughts, especially because Christmas is a time for family, and even when things were not going great, we did come together for Christmas up until about 9 or 10 years ago. Now I have nothing to do with them and them me, which is fine with me. But I have my own family, and that's what matters. So I tended to think a lot about family at this time, and this year, I think in particular, I'm thinking about where I've come from and how much work and effort that I've put into becoming well, and how well I'm doing. A lot of people, when I was younger and when I was in and out of the hospitals and when I was suicidal all the time and self-injuring all the time and a basket case, a mess, or however you want to put it, it wasn't what it was at the time. And most of the people there, they were like, oh, you're going to accidentally kill yourself. When you hurt yourself one of these times, you're accidentally going to cut too far, or you're going to do this or that, and you're going to end up dying. And at the time, I didn't care. I didn't think I was going to see 20 years old. And this year I turned 44, so I've more than doubled what I thought I was going to do, which is really great. No, it doesn't sound it, but I'm really proud of myself, because I could have died. I should have died a couple times. And my best friend at the time did die, and her and I were like sisters practically. We did so much together. I think part of my healing was taking some space from her, because we fed off each other horribly, which is kind of why I suggest, if you're trying to get better, try to hang out with some people who are not going to encourage the more challenging behaviors or more challenging choices that we make, because it's hard to get out of it when somebody, like for an example, when I was struggling with my eating disorder, I had a friend who would intentionally put chocolate bars in front of me because she knew that if I ate them, that I'd go and purge them. And when I thought about that later, I was really angry about that. So I'm like, how dare she sit there and encourage that? Like, I don't know, it just didn't make sense to me. So it's good to hang out with people who are going to encourage your good behaviors and not your more challenging behaviors when you're trying to let go of your challenging behaviors. So yeah, most people didn't think I was going to make it to, to 40, 44, whatever I am now. I didn't think I was going to make it to 20. And my best friend at the time only made it to 23. So she did fulfill that prophecy that all the nurses would say at the hospitals and some of the care providers that we had at the time, which is unfortunate. I miss her every day. It's been 21 years, maybe 22 now, since she passed, and I think about her all the time. I'm feeling guilty this year because I didn't go to her grave for her birthday or her death day, which are about a month apart. But I know she's there, and I know that if I ever have something to say to her, I don't have to go to her grave to say it. I can just say it. And when I want to remember her and grieve for her and celebrate what we shared in her life, I don't have to do it at a cemetery in the cold, because her death day and her birthday were both in cold months. So I don't mind going in the summer. It's not so bad, but I don't know. There's something that blocked me from going this year, and I don't know what it is. So I guess I just want to bring this year into a light of hope. When I was young and when everybody was telling me I was never going to make it to my age now, and I didn't care, it was a time that was full of hurt and full of chaos and full of drama due to the neglect and the abuse that I went through. And having emotionally unavailable parents when you're the sensitive being that I am is horribly traumatizing. And I never knew where I belonged. I never fit in anywhere. I didn't have a family because they told me that I was lucky to have the clothes on my back, the food in my stomach, and the roof over my head because my own mother didn't want me. And then they wondered why I sat there thinking my entire life, what did I do that was so horrible that my own mother didn't want me? These people just, as a status symbol to them, they didn't really want me either. They just wanted, because that's what you do in life, is you grow up, you get married, you go to work, you raise a family, and depending on what gender you were at that time. And so I was nothing more than a status symbol. That's my little man. I don't know if you can hear the meowing. It's my little man. He's mad he can't come in here. But he would be all over the place, and I'm going to bed soon. So anyways, so yeah, that leaves me with nobody. And so I've had to go from when I left home at 14 till now. I'm just kind of gotten things together recently, deciding and figuring out who I am and how to be and what is important to me, and having faith that I'm an okay person and that I can do things on my own and I don't need someone there with me all the time. There was a time that I didn't think I could do anything on my own. I essentially left my parents at 14, went into foster care, and functioned as like a 6 or 7-year-old in a lot of ways, emotionally at least. And I didn't know how to do a lot of things. My mother never taught me anything. I didn't know how to cook. I didn't know how to clean, because that she was very clear on. But you never know it now, because I don't want to be like her, so I don't tend to clean as much as her, which isn't necessarily great, but it is what it is, and that's okay. And I think we need to remind ourselves when we make those decisions, when we do those kind of things, that that's okay. I think a lot of people struggle with that, but it's okay. It's okay to be who you are. I have never felt more free than being away from my parents and not having to please them all the time and try to get them to love me, because quite frankly, they're never going to. They were never going to. They don't have it in them. So when I look back and I look at that, and I look at all the times that I fell down and all the times that I got back up, I'm really proud of myself. And I know that even though you're struggling, if you fall down, as long as you keep picking yourself back up, you'll be able to get there. You'll be able to move ahead and be closer to who you want to be. And right now you might not even know who that is. I didn't know what I liked for the longest time. People are like, what are your hobbies? And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what I like. I don't have a lot of likes these days. I love my daughter. I love my animals. I love watching movies and hanging out with friends. And I like going to work and knowing that I'm providing. And it was really hard when I first started working. I've been trying to be a very productive member of society for a long time now, and I keep trying to work, but there's something that happens that I have to change jobs, or I need to take a break from it for a while, because I need to continue trying to find myself. And the only way to do that is to make mistakes. I learned that I didn't really like fast food. I like fast food. I mean, working at fast food. You can tell I like fast food. But I don't like working at fast food. I don't like working for other people where I don't have freedom of what I'm doing. I like to have kind of control of my environment and how I do things, because I've learned over the years that I'm actually pretty smart and very insightful, and I have really good ideas, and I tend to think outside the box. I don't understand why and how I come up with my ideas, but my ideas are actually pretty good a lot of the time. He wants in, he wants mommy time. He's gonna have to wait. And the funny thing is, even 15 years ago, I could never have said this. I could never have said that I was smart. I could never have said that I had any good ideas and that I was at all worthwhile, or none of that. Even as a mother, 15 years ago, she would have been 5. So yeah, even as a mother, I couldn't have said that when she was 5 years old. And I was a damn good mother. I made some mistakes, of course we all do, but overall, like, she's turning out really well despite me. And I say that with a smile because I did a lot of work on her. I really showed her a lot of love and a lot of attention, and taught her a lot of things as much as I could to make sure that she was going to be a good person who had a good heart and was a productive member of society. Even though people told me that as a single parent, non-disability, I would never, ever have that. But I like to prove people wrong. So, as I look into this year, it's been a hard year for everybody. I've been lucky because I work in healthcare, and that's been a blessing because it keeps me going out of my house every day, socializing with people all the time. I also drive sometimes, some courier, so it gets me out if I need to. If I'm feeling lonely and I need to get out, I just hop in my car. If not, I'm going to go to work in a day or two, so hopefully. sometimes a few days in between, but overall. And I kind of feed off that now. And if I didn't have that, if I wasn't working in healthcare and had to stay home like a lot of you are struggling with, I could totally see how my depression would eat me alive. So I feel very, very blessed this year. And that I've been healthy, knock on wood. And Angelica's been healthy too. Don't know why we do that. But yeah, we've been very blessed this year. And so next year, my focuses are to finish school because I'm in an office admin course. That's another reason why I haven't made a lot of videos, because I've been busy. But I've been finishing that up. This is my last semester, including placement. I'm also focusing on my job and my career. I like where I am to a degree, but it's not social enough for me. Not always the people I work with are very friendly and talkative, and I need that. I need somebody who will sit there and have a conversation with me and I can learn from, because a lot of the conversations I have, I want to learn something from that person. I want to understand what they do and why they do it, kind of thing. And people are just interesting. I don't know why a lot of people do the things they do, but they're interesting. Or I like to understand, is my thought pattern off? Because this is how I'm thinking. By doing that, I also learn that my thought pattern isn't as off as I thought it was. I'm not crazy and whatever negativity I put in, words I put in my head saying that I wasn't normal, because the more I talk to people, the more I realize how normal I am. And I think if you gave it a chance, that you'd figure that out too. We all make mistakes, we all have our issues. So the final thing that I'm going to focus on next year is I have decided to become a surrogate. And yes, some of you are going to think, oh my God, you're old for that, but I'm not too old yet. I'm excited. I've picked my couple, and I am excited to be bringing them a baby, hopefully by next Christmas. I go for a medical appointment at the end of this month and get final clearance, and within a couple of months, hopefully 1 to 2 at most, I will accept the transfer and become pregnant. So if you followed, I know I'm a little jumpy, but if you followed, remember, I was overdosing and cutting and going to the hospitals every month, every week sometimes, and that was my life. And I have fought and fought and fought to get better and to function in this world as a trauma survivor, as an emotionally neglected child, as someone who had no worth, no value, no self-esteem, was angry at the world, hated myself, hated the world. And now look at me. So I just want to give you guys hope. So until next time, if you liked what we talked about, you can always hit subscribe. Sorry, a little bouncy. You can always hit subscribe, and then when the next time I do a video, it will notify you. And if not, take care and be safe. And you're worth it. Take care.